Welcome to Motor Masters, the channel where machines meet history, and legendary engineering gets the spotlight it deserves. Today, we're rolling into the story of one of the most iconic and widely used tanks of the 20th century, the Soviet T-55. From Cold War conflicts to modern-day battlefields, the T-55 has proven itself to be a true survivor in the world of armored warfare. The T-55 is a direct descendant of the T-54, which itself evolved from the famous T-34, the Soviet Union's legendary World War II tank. Designed shortly after World War II, the T-55 entered production in the late 1950s, and what made it truly revolutionary was not just its design, but its adaptability, affordability, and simplicity, the three pillars of why it became one of the most widely deployed tanks in history. Let's talk specs. The T-55 weighs around 36 tons and is powered by a V55 12-cylinder diesel engine producing about 580 horsepower. That gives it a top road speed of roughly 50 km per hour, or around 31 miles per hour, with a range of about 500 km on internal fuel. For a medium tank of its time, these were impressive numbers, giving it strong mobility and the ability to support long-range operations without constant refueling. At the core of the T-55 is its 100mm D10T2S rifled gun, a powerful, reliable weapon capable of taking out enemy armor, bunkers, and fortified positions. This gun was a refined version of the one used on the Su-100 tank destroyer and became known for its accuracy and punch. It also comes with a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun and a 12.7mm DSHK anti-aircraft heavy machine gun mounted on the turret in later versions, giving the tank multi-role flexibility on the battlefield. But what really made the T-55 a standout wasn't just firepower, it was its design philosophy. This tank was built to be simple, durable, and easy to maintain under the most rugged combat conditions. Soviet engineers understood that quantity had a quality of its own, and the T-55 was meant to be produced in vast numbers and operated by conscript armies. Its compact size, low silhouette, and easy maintenance made it ideal for fast production and long service life. One of the most important innovations in the T-55 was its nuclear, biological, and chemical NBC protection system, the first tank in the world to be fully protected against the effects of nuclear fallout. During the height of the Cold War, when nuclear conflict seemed like a real possibility, this was a game-changing feature. The tank was sealed from the outside world and featured an internal overpressure system to keep contaminated air out, allowing the crew to continue operations in post-nuclear environments. Armor-wise, the T-55 featured cast and rolled steel armor with a maximum thickness of around 200 mm on the turret front. While not impenetrable, it offered solid protection against the weapons of its era, especially when combined with the tank's small profile and speed. Later upgrades added explosive reactive armor, and other improvements to boost survivability. Production of the T-55 was massive, over 100,000 units were built, making it the most produced tank in history. It was exported to dozens of countries and served in almost every major conflict from the 1960s through the 1990s, including the Vietnam War, the Iran-Iraq War, the Yom Kippur War, both Gulf Wars, and numerous conflicts across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. In many of these conflicts, the T-55 went head-to-head with Western tanks like the American M60 and the British Centurion, often holding its own through sheer numbers and tactical employment. Of course, no tank is perfect, and by the 1980s, the T-55 was starting to show its age. Western tanks began using more powerful smoothbore guns, thermal imaging systems, and composite armor, outclassing the T-55 in head-to-head engagements. However, its widespread use, ease of upgrade, and low operating cost meant that it remained in service with many nations well into the 21st century. What's fascinating is how many variants and upgrades the T-55 has undergone. Different countries have modified their T-55s with new fire control systems, laser rangefinders, thermal sights, improved engines, and even NATO-compatible weapons. Some modernized versions can still be found today, patrolling borders, supporting infantry, or even appearing in urban warfare scenarios. There's something almost timeless about the T-55. It doesn't rely on the most cutting-edge technology or overwhelming firepower. It's a tank that simply works, a steel workhorse that combines practical design with battlefield adaptability. That's what made it a favorite for so many armies around the world. Another interesting aspect is how the T-55 became more than just a tank, it became a symbol of the Cold War era. Whether seen in Soviet military parades or in the deserts of the Middle East, the T-55 became an icon. For some, it was a symbol of liberation and strength, for others, a reminder of conflict and tension. Either way, its impact on history is undeniable. Today, many T-55s are retired, preserved in museums, or used as training vehicles. Some are even modified for civilian use in films, exhibitions, or collector events. But for tank enthusiasts and military historians, the T-55 remains a legendary machine, not because it was the most powerful or the most advanced, but because it proved that effective design, when executed well, can stand the test of time. In the world of tanks, the T-55 may not be the flashiest or the most high-tech, but it has earned its place in history through decades of reliable service, rugged performance, and battlefield legacy. It's a machine that exemplifies the motor master's spirit, built to last, made to move, and forged in the fires of history. Thanks for watching Motor Masters, where machines come to life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the legendary T-55, don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth breakdowns of the most iconic vehicles in military history. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep the engines roaring.